Welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another anime review. This time around, we're going to be talking about Beast Tamer. That's the short of the name. The entire name of the book that it's from is called The Beast Tamer Who Was Exiled from His Party Meets a Cat Girl from the Strongest Race. Once again, another one of these animes that was adapted from a light novel with an extremely detailed title. You kind of have to do it sometimes with all these titles to kind of get yourself interested in it, because if you just say Beast Tamer, you kind of get an idea. But yeah, because the title of the show basically tells you the entire premise of the show. It's about a beast tamer who is part of the heroes, who was part of the heroes party. We get Rain, a beast tamer who, due to the assholery, the horribleness of the team, the heroes party kicks him out, and feeling depressed, he bumps into a one of the strongest races, a cat girl, or the cat race, because you meet along the way. It's another harem style show where he meets others, like dragons and spirits and the like and things like that. So it's a typical harem style thing, with the premise being one of being kicked out of a hero's party. That's kind of been trend recently. Now, I would say at the beginning, its animation style or its art style is pretty nice. It's pretty clean, simple, some interesting fight scenes, nothing too grand. Some of the characters, it's a hit or miss. There's some funness, but it's nothing too grand. The main protagonist of Rain, your typical main pro, doesn't feel very confident. It takes his party to kind of rebuild his confidence, and at times it can be goofy, but then there's some annoyance there. The rest of the team, as you build out the cast, you have an interesting cast. Like I said, depending on who you find in the cast you like. You got the cat girl, the dragon girl, things like that. They can either bring or dislike the show from there because of their different personalities. I, for the most part, never saw them as either hindrance. They each had their own quirks, besides the twins. Even the twins had their own thing, but nothing too rambunctious. The plot of the story itself, of him kind of rebuilding himself as an individual with the help of his party, and thrown into these situations and learning about him. For the most part, I found it very, very enjoyable. Like I said, there wasn't too much negativity, I would say, in it. There are some very, I would say, triggering moments for individuals I would recommend to be careful with, depending on yourself. There are some trigger moments. I think those are the only few times I would say that, depending on individuals. Besides that, it feels like this will lead into a season 2 because of some of the conflict, because you still get some back and forth with the hero party, and I think that's where it's more plot heavy stuff we'll get into, but you don't get much more in this season. I'm gonna say there's another season gonna come out. If I'm wrong, I'll be disappointed, because right now, leading in here, you get the beginning of a show, you get the beginnings of a character, and if there's no leading up into it, then that's gonna be rough, because the finale is fine. It's a closing episode, so I'm hoping for more to bring it up. But overall, as a show, its art style is enjoyable to watch. Animation, it flows well. The voice acting is wonderful. I actually generally liked every character. Sometimes you get the annoying voices. I did watch this in Japanese, so the Japanese voice actors and actresses did a really good job. Like I said, some of the character qualities were not what I was hoping for. I also read this, so I had some preconceptions, but the story floated roughly always exactly the same. And so I had already idea, and they did a really decent transition over. It wasn't as intense at certain scenes, or certain scenes could have been a little bit more intense for action sequences, but they were fine. But yeah, it's overall a pretty average show, I would say. If these style of shows are interesting, where you have your main protagonist kind of being kicked out of the main party and then kind of rebuilding themselves in this kind of harem style thing, this is a reasonable watch. Some of the plots are simple, easy, nothing too bad about it, but there's nothing too great about it either. It's pretty average. I'm gonna say it's pretty average. I enjoyed it. I was looking forward to episodes every once in a while, but not like I was like, oh, I gotta see next week's episode immediately. I think that was more towards the finale, which is fine. But even though the finale, there was still I would say like a bonus episode. I think episode 13 which was just more of a next time episode, like coming into season 2 episode. Besides that, yeah, the show is enjoyable if you like this type of genre. Would recommend if you did want to watch a little bit action, lighthearted show. But yeah, those are my thoughts. My rating for this one of the few last animes for 2022, I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. It could have been more interesting a little bit. I'm hoping next season, if they hope they make a new next season, because it could have been brought up more. It's enjoyable. It's average. I could almost give it a 7, but I don't know. It just didn't have its intensity that I wanted. But yeah, I'm gonna give this one 6 out of 10. Let me know what you thought if you watched this one. But yeah, so everyone, thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya.